Okay, folks, hold on to your seats because we've got two good ones coming up. Not that we didn't have all those good ones before, but we're going to finish up well too. So I told you I love to have our clubs talk about the foundation and how they're running things. So my man, Marty Richardson, my man Marty is from the Little River Club. And I'll have to tell you, Marty is a really interesting fella. He's the foundation chair for Little River, but Marty is also a fine piano player. In fact, he played for my district conference 10 years ago, I might add, Paul Walter. Hard to believe it's already been 10 years. So, my man, the music man, Marty Richardson, take it away.
Thank you. How do I get on? Do I hit share screen? No, that's not what I do. Okay, I'm having a little bit of difficulty there. How do I get my picture up?
Okay, Marty, you should be able to share now.
Okay. No, that's not what I need. Okay. I'll just give my talk. Can you see me? Can you see me? Okay.
Yes.
First off, I want to say I'm honored to be here. And when I first joined Rotary, I did not really fully understand what Rotary did. So I was like, when I joined, I was exactly like all other entering Rotarians. I did not know what foundation was. And I think as we are in Rotary for a long time, we assume that everybody knows exactly what foundation is. Bad assumption. So I make sure and talk to each and every one of our new members, our new members, not transferring. I do talk to them, the transferring members, but I make sure and talk to them about the new members about what Rotary Foundation is and how that money comes back to our community. And then I give a talk. I try to give a talk every year about the history of foundation. Now, everything I'm going to say, all my materials I find online at my Rotary. Now, so I give a talk, and I also follow that up with the talk about the four-way test at another meeting. And we have a satellite club, so we have a lot of new members, and it's important to talk to them about that. And I talk to them about giving and different ways of giving, like the monthly giving. And to me, that is paramount. And I go through step by step explaining to the people. And sometimes you just need to take them out to lunch, people out to lunch, or you need to sit down with them at a quiet moment and explain what a sustaining member is, a benefactor, bequest society. A good way to get them involved is to, and with the fellow and Paul Harris fellow, but I like to look at my monthly list that I get on my Rotary and see who is close and who would be somebody who would likely be a society member. And then I talk to them, and we try to get at least 1 or 2 new society members every year. And we have done that. And I also emphasize online giving and also the monthly giving. That's if I'm going too fast, let me know, because I get excited and I talk. I get excited about this, and I talk to them specifically about giving monthly increments, because some people, that is the way that they can afford to be a participant in foundation. We have a nominal fee, $100 goes to foundation out of everybody's. We suggest it. We don't demand it out of everybody's dues that they pay semi-annually. but I think the part about foundation for me, when I came in as a new member a long time ago, was understanding what foundation was. What was foundation? And now that I know, uh, there's still some things that I don't understand about foundation, and I'm learning every day. I learned a lot of things today just by listening, especially to Carrie. And Also, I look for candidates who would be likely to be or close to becoming a major donor. And major donors are critical, and we have a lot of those that have come through our club. E-Ray is the starting point, just explaining E-Ray. And a lot of it is just conversationally telling people what foundation is all about. And everybody's got like a special spot in their heart for a particular bucket, we'll say. So I try to speak every month on the particular Rotary International topic of focus. And I believe in what I'm talking about. Each and every month is something that touches my heart, whether it be clean water. Rafi, I'm sure you guys remember Rafi, right? Who was did a seminar years ago on clean water at one of our district conferences. I was shocked and amazed, and I went out and did some research on the water projects, and that really touched my heart because I've been to places where water is incredibly difficult to get, and it impedes not only the economic and societal growth, but also just each person's ability to learn. And I believe with all my heart that learning and information is critical to our world and society advancing. So that is important to me. I know Bernie and is behind polio, and so are we all. But everybody's got something that touches their heart, whether it be peace and conflict resolution. I saw a young man go to the meetings and see who's talking, and I encourage people to go in our club to go to other clubs where there's speakers. I went to the North Myrtle Beach Rotary Club years ago and saw a young man who was part of our peace and conflict resolution, who was working with Cyprus, a country that I've never been to, and I probably will never be there, who was working on that conflict resolution there. That's something that Rotary is doing globally. Now, the thing that I also impress upon all of our members is that the money we give the foundation comes back to our community. Every year we apply for the maximum amount of a global grant or a grant. We apply for the maximum amount of our grant, district grant, and we get it. And we always impact our community, and we do a lot of the work ourselves. And you know, they want to see feet on the ground, and that's important. Like I said, I always look at my roster and see who's close to that next level, and we offer points to people and say, hey, you know what, you're $200 or $200 / points away from the next level. Give $100 and we'll match it. And every club has got a lot of points. Our club has a lot of points to give out. And that sort of gets them in the mindset to give. I know this is probably redundant for a lot of talks that have already been given and everything, but this is how I motivate. And once again, if you believe in what you're selling, so to speak, or if you believe in foundation, you're going to have a more of an impact. And a way to believe in it is to go on to My Rotary and look at all the things that Foundation's doing. And then go and see what you are doing and how all the clubs, all of our clubs in our district are impacting our local communities. We're known as the little club with the big heart. Now we're a medium club with a big heart. And we're growing. And one of the reasons we're growing and gaining new members is because we're out in the public. We're not just writing checks. We're out in the public doing things. And that's critical. I think I have probably yammered on enough, but are there any questions at all? Are there any questions at all?
Marty, you reminded me when you started talking about looking at the club recognition summary and the matching points, that I need to let everybody know we're going to do that in November and December. So that's on the calendar. And that was a great reminder, Marty, about the matching gifts.
I forgot to say one thing, especially in November and December. I remind every one of my Rotarians that their gifts are tax deductible. that I say, if you're coming up on that time, you want to give it before December 31st because it's tax deductible.
That's right. And here's another thing, Marty, to remind them, those of folks who are over 70 and a half have to take a required minimum distribution every year, and they can give that donation to the Rotary Foundation directly. Wow. And not be taxed on it.
Okay, see, I've learned something again.
And everybody else too, about that. I love your comment about if you believe, and that's true, if you carry it in your heart and you believe that what our foundation does, you truly can increase our impact throughout the world and increase our giving. Thank you, Marty. Thank you so much for your letting us know what you do for the foundation. So our next speaker is, as everybody knows Bernie. So Bernie, polio man, running man, challenge man, take it away, Bernie.
Okay, thank you very much, Paula. How's the audio? Is the audio okay? Is it okay? I just want to say one thing about Marty. He is the real deal. They went from small club status to medium club status this year, and they did not miss a beat. They were the medium polio club of the year, and it's an amazing club. He talked about the community. I shouldn't say never. They are, what was that?
They are rocking it, Bernie.
They're one of the most active clubs in the community that I know. So he's right about getting out there. Marty, thank you. You do a great job. Okay, let me see if I can share my screen here. Are we good? We got the screen up. All right. I got two things I want to talk about today. One is the $1 Million Dinner and campaign, and then I'm going to go into polio. I hope this is not the best kept secret in the district. We've been doing this for quite a while, planning this $1 Million Dinner. So I'm going to try, and hopefully everybody's seen this before, but I'm going to try it again. Our $1 Million Dinner. Sandy Morkel is our chair for the dinner, and she's the immediate past president of the historic Rotary Club of Charleston. And when she was last year, when she was president of the Charleston Club, that they celebrated their 100th anniversary. So I know she can throw a party, and she's going to do a great job with our $1 million dinner, which is, by the way, it's changed. We had it originally scheduled for May the 5th, and we had President Holger coming. The bad news is President Holger has been locked down in Germany all year, so he was not able to make the commitment, and so we rescheduled to November 15th. And thanks to Ann Matthews, we have President Shaker coming. President Shaker has made a commitment to come on November 15th. It's at the same location. It's at the Francis Marion Hotel in Charleston. And if you just look at some of these pictures, it's absolutely a beautiful facility. It's right in the center of Charleston. And the other good thing is a Rotarian in the Charleston Rotary Club owns this thing. So we've gotten some pretty good treatment. He left a shift from May the 5th to November 15th with no problem at all. So it's a big deal. We've never in our district done $1 million dinner before. Other districts have, and they've been very, very successful. So I'm sure this is going to be very successful also. So here's what's going to happen. It's going to be a gala event, and like I told you, we have RI President Shaker committing to come, and past RI Vice President, our own Ann Matthews, is coming. President Shaker will do the keynote address. He'll be available beforehand. We're going to have cocktails. You can meet and greet. You can have photo ops. How many times do you get to do a photo op with the president of Rotary International? So that's what's going to happen at the dinner. Oh, by the way, it's an invitation-only event. It's an invitation-only event. So how do you get invited to the $1 million dinner? No, you do not have to give $1 million to the Rotary Foundation to get an invite. All qualifying donors and a guest will be invited at no charge. So what do you have to do to qualify to get a no-charge invitation to come to this wonderful event? So to qualify, you have to make a single new major gift or bequest of at least $10,000 to the Rotary Foundation. The key words there are single, new, and 10,000. Governor-elect Paul, are you still on, Paul?
Yes,
are you
sir.
still? Okay, so let me give you a scenario. I'm a Paul Harris Society member. This is my 10th year, and I go from $9,000, I go to $10,000. Do I qualify to come to the dinner?
You became a major donor.
I became a major donor. That's correct. Do I qualify as to come to the dinner? It's not a trick question.
I know.
It's not. What I'm getting you on here is single.
Right.
Single.
To go with your slide there, I would say no.
Exactly. Exactly right. So my point is it has to be a single new major gift or bequest. Now we're going to get into this just a little more. I'm going to talk about this. So let's look at what qualifies as a major gift of at least $10,000. So of course, you can give cash, and the Rotary Foundation, if you give cash, lets you do it over 3 years. So let's say you give $15,000 just to keep the math simple. If you give 15 and you want to elect this option, that's $5,000 a year, Mr. Banker. Is that not correct? Say yes, Paul. Say
yes. I'm sorry. Yes.
So if you do that, okay, so you can have 3 years to pay that 15. You can do $5,000 a year. That's just an example. So that's what you can do. You can do life income agreements. You can do stock transfers, which we talked about before. Terry talked about those. Charitable gift annuities. There's many other possibilities for giving cash as a major gift. But there's another part. There's another side to this, and it's bequest. A bequest of at least $10,000 gets you an invite also. So when we say bequest, what are we talking about? We're talking about really could be your estate plan. And when you're doing an estate plan, it could be a percentage of your estate. It could be specific number of shares of stock or specific dollar amount. So those are ways if you do that and they're over $10,000, you qualify. Or It could be as simple as just including in your will a codicil that says, I'm going to give $10,000. Of course, that makes you a bequest society level 1, but it could be that simple, and you get an invite to the dinner. The key thing here, and when you're doing a bequest, the key thing is there's no cash required. You're not going to miss it. You're not going to miss this at all. You put it in your will. You don't care. It's gone. The kids might miss it a little bit, but it's not going to affect you at all. So think about doing a bequest. I know there's a lot of bequest society 1s out there. Think about just adding another 10 or 15 to become a bequest society 2. There's many, many ways to handle this, and there's no cash required. So when we're talking about bequests, we're talking about also when you get to be my age, you start thinking about leaving a legacy. And the Rotary Foundation is a perfect way to do this. Now watch. Recently, they came up with these named endowed funds, and you can do one of these for at least $25,000. If you do 25, you can do a named endowed. When I say that, when I say named endowed fund, what am I talking about? Well, it could be something like the John Doe for Healthy Children Fund. It could be Mary Smith's Education Fund. It could be, I didn't say Paul Harris, but it's the Harris family for Clean Water Fund. Nancy and I actually did this. We actually stepped up to $25,000. We got a named fund. I wanted to do it for polio. They wouldn't let me. They said polio is going to be over before we pass away. You can't do it for polio. So we did the Rydell family for a disease-free world. So it's very easy. It's very easy to do. And like I said, it costs you nothing right now. Just don't tell your kids. Don't tell your kids doing this, that you're going to do this. Now, a lot of Rotarians aren't comfortable talking about their finances with other Rotarians, foundation chairs, even district folks. They're just not comfortable talking about this kind of stuff. So we have assigned to our district probably the best major gifts officer, senior major gift officer, assigned to our Carl Davis. He's an amazing, amazing person. Every time I talk to Carl, I learn something new. Like Marty was saying, I learned something new about the Rotary Foundation. Every time I talk to Carl, I learn something new. He's up in North Carolina. He's near Raleigh. That's his phone number. If you have any questions in confidentiality, you don't want to talk to anybody like me or somebody in your club, just give him a call. Call Carl, and he'll talk to you about anything you want to talk about. Now, that is Carl Davis. There he is. I call him Top Gun Carl. And why do I do that? Because he is the best. He knows the most about the Rotary Foundation of anybody that I know. So I call him Top Gun. He not just talks the talk, he walks the walk. He works for the Rotary Foundation, folks. We pay his salary. He is an employee of the Rotary Foundation, but he's also a Rotarian. He belongs to the Rotary Club of Raleigh. So he doesn't just walk the walk. I mean, talk the talk, he walks the walk. So don't hesitate to call Carl. Or you can contact me. Now I searched all over. I searched all my photos to try and find a photo of me without a polio shirt. And I couldn't do it. This is the best I could come up with. I had a sport coat on. So that's the least. I just couldn't find a shirt. I just couldn't find a photo without a shirt. Anyway, so you can contact me. There's my contact information. And if I can't help you, we have a team, folks. We have a team, $1 million campaign team of 23 people all over the district. Now I'm just going to take a minute here. Look at these people. All right. I'm pretty much guaranteed that you know somebody here you know. I mean, you can contact them also. But if you call me or you email me or text me or whatever, I am happy to talk to you. Or if you need somebody that's in your area that you're more comfortable with, I'm happy to refer you to one of these amazing people. And by the way, to be on the $1 million campaign team, all these people had to make a commitment to do at least $10,000 to the Rotary Foundation, and they did. So, all right. I want to give you an update where we're at here. This $1 million campaign that was probably maybe one of the best kept secrets in our district, but hopefully not anymore. Hopefully not anymore. So as of May the 5th, here's what we're doing. These are actual dollars now that we have collected so far, dollars in the bank to the foundation. 1.8 million so far in the bank. We're looking at contributions that have been promised that are either in process or have been promised, and we're looking at 85,000 there. So I'm not even gonna, Paul, the banker, I'm not even gonna ask you, I'm gonna bring it right up. I know you don't have your calculator with you, so here goes. Here's the total. So we're at 1.9 million as of May 5th. So we're not really, our target isn't 1 million anymore. Our target is really 2 million. So in the next 5 months before, 6 months before we have the dinner, we have to go over $2 million. And I hope I've showed you how you can participate and how you can get an invite. The easiest way is a bequest, folks. The easiest way, call me, talk to me, call Carl, and work something out. It's going to be a great event. You don't want to miss it. First one ever in our district. All of you that do contribute to the Rotary Foundation, we thank you for everything, whether it's to the annual fund, whether it's to polio, whatever you contribute to. Thank you so much for contributing. Our district has the most generous, I've said this many times, our district has the most generous Rotarians in the world when it comes to the Rotary Foundation. So thank you. All right.
Bernie, you have one question for the $1 million dinner.
Oh, okay, yes, go ahead.
What documentation does District 7770 require for the estate planning option to be accepted for this campaign?
See, now that is a perfect reason to call Carl. Carl Davis and I work together, and we periodically get together and compare notes. So I get information, I get reports on giving from our district, and so does Carl. So we actually compare notes and make sure we're both on the same wavelength when it comes to these contributions. But in terms of documentation, Carl Davis is the best person to talk to. You just have to let me know. I mean, I'm going to know anyway, but if you do something with Carl, shoot me an email and tell me we just did a bequest for $10,000. Send me an email so I have a record of it. That's all I need. Carl is the definitive person on the gifts. So like I said, Carl and I work together on who has given and how much they have given. Hopefully that answered the question for whoever asked it. Anything else? Any other questions? I should have asked for questions. Are we good? Okay. All right. My timer went off. George, I had a 15-minute timer and it just went off. All right. I'm going to start that timer again. 15 minutes. Here we go. All right. Let's talk about polio. Now, I'm only going to talk about one issue here, folks. I'm only going to talk one issue about polio. And it's about a district-wide, all-club involvement fundraiser. Let me say that again. District-wide, all-club involved fundraiser for polio coming up July 1st. And here we go. What is it? I think some of you already know. It's called Run with Bernie. I didn't come up with the name. Don't blame me. My co-chair came up with the name. Run with Bernie. And what is it? It's a 1,000-mile walk, run, bike. And we actually have 2 Rotarians that are going to row. Did you hear that? They're actually going to row 1,000 miles, 2 Rotarians. So it's walk, run, bike, row, polio challenge. It starts July 1st and it ends on World Polio Day, October 24th. So that's a week less than 4 months. So it's almost 4 months. Now I'm telling you, I'm going to do 1,000 miles. I guarantee that. Last year I did 500. I did 500 miles in 2 months. I'm going to do 1,000 miles, and I guarantee it. So that's not an issue. But it is a bit of a competition, folks. It is a bit of a competition. We're asking every club, there's 77 clubs in our district, and we want every club to at least register one team. One team. It can be a team event. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I want every club to be represented. Now, that may be a stretch. I know that may be a stretch, but that's our goal. And understand this, if you put a team in, all the miles from all the team members are going to count. So if you have 5 team members, whatever they walk or they run, whatever the mileage is for a month, it all counts. You add it all up, that team gets credit for everything. Oh, no, wait a second. You can do individuals too. If there's an individual out there that thinks they can go mano on mano against me and they want to do that, they don't need a team. They think they can do 1,000 miles just like I can. Individuals are welcome to compete also. I'm just throwing it out there. I know. Will, I know you're out there somewhere. Will has a buddy though, so there's 2 of them. There's 2 of them that are going to do it. So I know we're talking about mileage here. We're talking about 1,000 miles, and that's good. It's good to talk about the miles, but here are the real goals of what we're trying to do with this 1,000-mile challenge. We want to raise dollars and awareness for our fight to end polio. That's the big goal. We want to raise dollars and awareness. And we want to have fun and just maybe get a bit healthier along the way. So you didn't see me mention anything about making the 1,000 miles in there. If everybody did, or if you could, or you put it out there, that's great. But this is the real reason that we're doing this. All right, so let's look at raising dollars. I think probably the best way for team members to do this is to get pledges. Get pledges from family members, friends, neighbors, Rotarians, businesses. Get pledges for so much a mile. One of the things this does, folks, is it takes some of the burden off Rotarians in your club to stroke a check. You know, we have our polio goals, we have all their foundation goals, and a lot of times it comes down to Rotarians just stroking a check. This is a way to not do that. This is a way to get people in the community involved. It's a fun way of doing it. They can make a pledge, 50 cents a mile, 10 cents a mile, and they're involved, and you'll be surprised. You'll be very surprised at what happens. Of course, accept cash. Somebody wants to make a cash donation, accept cash. Now, I'm not sure I heard anybody talk about, I don't think Terry talked about Raise for Rotary. I'm not sure. If he did, I missed it. This is a fabulous, fabulous online program, folks. It's our Rotary Foundation. If you Google Raise for Rotary, it's going to take you there to our Rotary Foundation. It's on My Rotary. So everybody's been talking about making sure you log in and you get your account on My Rotary. This is another reason to do it. Last year, I did my 500-mile challenge, and I did it with the pandemic going on. No club visits. I didn't get the opportunity to actually go to clubs and raise money. So I had to have another way. I did Raise for Rotary. I raised over $16,000, mostly, almost all of it through Raise for Rotary, because people can give online. And if you sign in with My Rotary to give, you get credit for it. Your club gets credit for it. It's amazing. You set up your own little fundraiser here with Raise for Rotary. You set up your own little fundraiser. It's fantastic. I don't have time, unfortunately, to run you through it today, but it's simple. Trust me, if I can do it, it's simple. And I'm telling you, if you do all this stuff, if you just do this, before you know it, you are going to achieve your club polio goal. So next year, when we're talking at this time of the year, everybody's going to have their club polio goal done because they're doing this fun fundraiser. All right. Let me just look at my clock here. Oh, I got plenty of time. So now we looked at raising dollars. Now we want to raise awareness. And this is a very, very key part to the whole equation here. Now listen, everyone that signs up, I said everyone that signs up will receive. Now, my governor to be here, Paul Walter, made me put in this little caveat. While supply lasts. We have a stockpile of these things, these goodies that we're going to give to every Rotarian. But when they're gone, and then if they want them, they're going to have to buy them. So what are we talking about here? These are freebies. So everybody that signs up is going to get a free polio shirt. You're going to get a free, modeled by our district governor-elect, you're going to get a free polio hat. You're also going to get a free polio mask. And I'm not done. I'm not done. I have one more item, and this is such in demand. I'm surprised we have any left by now. I think we're in our second printing. I think this is our second printing for this. Here we go. The last thing you're going to get free is Bernie on a stick. Now, I didn't come up with that either. That isn't my idea. Paula Matthews, last year at the foundation seminar, when our training sessions, when all the regular stuff was talked about, and we're just kind of like having back and forth discussion, you, Paula Matthews, you mentioned, why don't we just have a stick with a face on it, Bernie, and then people can put that stick up and then they can do their walking and running and everybody can have you there. That was your idea, Paula Matthews. You probably forgot all about that, didn't you? Didn't you, Paula? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I did not forget. In fact, I went back and watched that video just to make sure of what I was saying. And you are responsible for that burning on a stick. I just want to let you know. Okay. All right. I got to move on. So here, if you need to sign up, it's very, very simple. Email me. Just email me. I need your club name. I need your shirt size. And if you know your team captain, I need your team captain's name. So just send me an email. Send it to Polio D7770. You got that? Polio District 7770 at gmail.com. That's all you have to do. Send it to me, and as long as the freebies, we have them, you'll get them. I'll give you a status. Right now, we have 46 Rotarians registered for this, and they represent 24 different clubs. So in terms of getting all the clubs, we're about a third of the way there. That's why I'm making this push. This is my final push. It's my last shot here today. This is my last hurrah to try and get, and when you go back to your clubs, please, please talk about this. It's not a secret. We want to do this fundraiser. So don't keep it a secret. Tell everybody, call me, email me. I'll send you whatever information you need. Okay. So how does it work? I got 6 minutes left. I'm watching George. I got 6 minutes left. Okay. So how does this thing work? Well, if you're not an individual, you need a team captain. And what that team captain's going to do, he's going to encourage his members on the team to secure pledges. We talked about that. Contribution. He's going to record the progress as it happens, as people tell him, I got this pledge, I got this money. And we're working on a form now, a pledge form. It's combination pledge and contribution form that we're going to send out to all the teams so that they have a uniform way of recording this stuff. The team captain is also going to ensure that all the dollars that are on that form that people have made commitments to all get sent to the Rotary Foundation for Polio. Don't send anything to me. Don't send anything to the district. Go to your foundation chair or your treasurer, whoever does that, and just give them the money and say, send this in directly. Our club gets credit and the donors get credit, and just make sure you mark down polio. That's all. Just make sure you mark down polio. All right, that's kind of in a nutshell, the money side. The team captain also is going to keep track of miles. So you got maybe 5 people on a team. So once a month, and you can use, I say use your smart devices here. I list some of them there. I have an Apple Watch. I used to use Fitbit, Garmin, iPhone, whatever it is. And I'm not talking about exercise miles. Those of you that have these know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about just exercise miles. At the end of the day, whatever your mileage is, if you exercise and you do 5 miles, but at the end of the day, you've done 12, we're talking the 12 miles here, folks. We're not trying to make it tough. However, the 4-way test here is in full effect because we trust you to report your miles honestly. So the 4-way test is in full effect. Once a month, at the end of the month, all you need to do is send an email to Mary Gass. She's my co-chair. Send an email and report your team miles. We're going to keep track of team miles. So that's all you need to do. I told you we're going to get pledge and contribution forms out to you, and we're going to have a mileage form that you can keep track of your miles. Let me just see here. Hang on. 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes. Consider the possibilities. Watch this now. So you all know about social media. You got to use it. We're giving you all that stuff. We're giving you all that stuff so you can post it on social media. Take team photos, post it. We want to get End Polio Now through the community. Use these hashtags. I'm not going to repeat them. There they are. End Polio Now, District 7. You see them. Use the hashtags when you post. Plan ongoing events. Team runs. Get your team together or walk. If you're running, you're walking, you're biking, whatever. Get a team together. Wear your polio gear. Make it a fun event. Make whatever you do, make it fun. Do it at the beach. Do it at the park. Do it someplace safe in your area. Just get together, take photos, post them. You may want to consider, this came from our district governor-elect, this is Paul's idea, you may want to do a club or area marathon where you pick a date, pick one date, a Saturday or something, and then everybody that participates individually add all the miles up. And hopefully the miles are going to come to 26.2, which is a marathon. You're not doing an actual marathon here, folks. You're doing total miles. Everybody just competes on one day. Take photos. Or you can do what Paul calls the Arch Clump Marathon, 26.50. Anybody know why it's 26.50? Sandy Brooks. Are you paying attention? No, she's not. Arch Clump, a check for $26.50. Start at the Rotary Foundation. That's where that comes from. Okay. Consider the possibility. This is a great one, folks. I got 2 minutes. This is a great one, folks. Get corporate or business participation. And we got the example right here. You look for a wellness program in these corporations. And an example I'm going to give you is Pinnacle Financial Partners. Do you know what Rotarian in our district is part of that, who is an employee of Pinnacle Financial Partners? Yes, Paul Walter, the banker. This is a banking thing. He went and he said they have a wellness program at the bank, and it helps keep the insurance costs down for the bank. He has got them to buy End Polio Now t-shirts for everybody that participates, and everybody that participates is going to contribute $10 to polio. So right now he's got about 50 people in his bank that's going to do this. That's what I'm talking about. It really does work. So if you're a Rotarian and you're in a law firm or you're a real estate office or you're a bank or something like that, think about this and call Paul. I like that. Call Paul. Kind of reminds me of a show once. Okay. Okay, the other thing, I got 50 seconds. You can have competition. You can have competitions. You can challenge other teams. Maybe the teams, I know my club has a couple teams, so they're probably going to challenge each other. You can challenge clubs, areas. Get into it. Have fun with it. Challenge. We even have, believe it or not, a couple districts that are interested in challenging our district. That's all I'm going to say. We haven't sealed the deal yet, but that goes big. We're going to have a celebration on October 24th. It's a work in progress. We're still working on it. I just want to pass this on to you. We have a 4-way test. Here's a 4-way test for successful fundraisers. It's a little different than our normal 4-way test. First thing, is it fun? Don't underestimate fun. Number 1, is it fun? Oh. I got to go on a few seconds, George, just a few seconds. 2, will it excite participants and donors? Both. People that are doing the fundraising and the people that are giving the money. Will it create awareness? We know about that. We got to, that's why we're giving you all the gear, folks, is to get out in social media. And the last thing is, will donors feel good? We had a president of our Rotary Club a couple years ago. We were doing $1 million. We had a major project in our club to raise $1 million for an organization on the island. And I remember his words. He said, when we're doing this thing, give until it feels good. And we did raise $1 million for the organization. We did it, and it felt good. The last thing is, why do we do this? Why do we go through all of this? Why do we give? And this is why we give, folks. This is it. All these kids, look at these kids. These kids here, they just went to an NID. They just got the purple pinky. See that? They just got the purple pinky at a National Immunization Day. Look at this girl here. Look at her. She is so sweet. Some of the others aren't too sure. They're not too sure. She is. Look at her. You know, the thing is, these kids don't have to worry about getting polio for the rest of their lives because of people like you that gave to polio. So if you're ever wondering why we give our money to polio, just remember this picture and these kids. This is why we give. And with that, I'm going to turn it back to George.